The ocean swallowed sound. Only the hum of the submersible's engines broke the silence as it drifted down through the endless black. Pressure meters blinked like nervous eyes, warning of limits long since crossed. Dr. Елена Maura leaned over the console, eyes fixed on the sonar display. A pulse flickered every 8 seconds, precise, deliberate, not geological. Four gloved hand tightened on the edge of the screen. Run another spectrum analysis, she said. Jern Rao, the engineer beside frowned. I already did. It's not echoing off anything natural. The pattern repeats, prime numberers, 10 silence, 10 the same sequence. So meonis counting. Carter Hill, the pilot, gave a low whistle. That's comforting. Yelena didn't answer. She adjusted the frequency range and leaned closer. The pulse shifted pitch, faintly melodic, as if it was reacting to her interference. For a moment, it sounded almost alive. The light from the monitor painted her face in soft blue hues. It's responding, she whispered. Jern turned in HD seat. To what? S. Yelena's voice was steady but tense. To human interference. Look at the timing of shit. It's learning our RHYTHM. Outside the viewport, the dark was so complete it looked like a physical wall. Their external lamps probed the white earth, illuminating only drifting plumes of silt and the occasional glitter of a mineral vein. The trench stretched below terra, the deepest cut on earth, and they were descending into its heart. Deep 11,200 meters, Carter reported. You're officially past safe limits. Someone's gonna scream when they read this log. Yelena didn't respond. She felt the tremor before she saw it, the faint vibration that ran through the hole like a pulse. Then the sonar display flared. The pulse wasn't a singular tone anymore. It was a chord. Jan's eyes widened. That's not random. That's structured. The pulse echoed again, slower, more defined. Shapes began appearing on the sonar grid, curved, symmetrical, enormous. The screen traced their outlines in ghostly green light. Carter muttered, "That's not a rock formation." Their object rose from the trench floor like a slumbering titan. Metal gleamed beneath layers of basalt and coral growth. The structure was half buried, half exposed, its surface scoured with lines that resembled veins. As the sub's light swept over it, the lines glowed faintly, then pulsed back in RHYTHM with the sonar signal. Yelena exhaled, breath fogging for visor. "It's answering us." "Jesus," Carter murmured. "How old do you think that thing is?" "Older than human civilization," Yelena said. "Maybe older than yards crossed where it sits." The sub drifted closer. A massive circular formation jutted from the trench wall, an iris-like aperture. As the lines passed over it, the iris opened, petals of metal peeling back in silent grace. A blue glow poured out, swallowing the darkness. "Pull back," Carter ordered, instinct overriding curiosity. "Wait," Yelena said quickly. "Just 10 meters closer. I need readings. Doctor, if that thing is moving, it's alive, or automated, or..." "Exactly WHY we can't live." The sub is forward, lights trembling. The glow intensified, washing the cabin in shimmering azure. Jan's instruments speaked wildly, readings flooding the panels, electromagnetic interference, radiation bursts, sound harmonics all overlapping. "Systems are peaking," he shouted. "You're getting freed down here." "Record everything," Yelena said. Carter cursed but kept the sub steady. "You're gonna cook if I don't." 10 the noise stopped. Every system went still. For a heartbeat, there was only silence. And 10, a voice. Not through the speakers, not through a cams, but through the water itself. We remember you. 3 words, deep and resonant, vibrating through the hole and through their bones. Yelena's breath caught. The voice asn't alien. It asn't even mechanical. It was human, impenetrably so. Charter's hands shook. What the hell was that? Jan's face had gone pale. The sound came from inside the structure. Like it's transmitting directly through the ocean. Yelena stared at the glowing aperture. It's speaking. 10 years living, Carter said. Now, recordings are complete. Yelena, we are living. That's not a rock. That's a thing that just talk. The trench wall trembled again. Loose sediment fell like black snow. The iris began to close, slowly deliberately, its light dimming with each motion. Yelena's voice softened. It isn't threatening us. Souls fooled me, Carter muttered, fins flying across the controls. They began to ascend. The pressure is fractionally as deep it decreased. Yelena kept 4 eyes on the sonar, which now showed no pulse, no shape, only static. 10, through the interference, the pulse returned. Slower. So after. Do not fear the water. You were born from it. Jern looked at 4, eyes wide. It's talking to you. Yelena didn't answer. She could feel her heart pounding. Something about the cadence of that voice reached into her, not fear, not wonder, but resignation. When they broke surface contact, the radio fizzed back to life. Expedition 1, this is surface command, a crisp voice barked. Transmit your data and prepare for debrief. Admiral Kane requests immediate isolation protocol. No external transmission is authorized. Carter frowned. How the hell does he already know? Yelena muted the general. You're not sending everything. Not yet. Jern hesitated. That's against protocol. So is waking up a buried alien relic, she replied. I need time to understand what we found. Admiral Kane won't care about understanding, Carter muttered. He sent drones and nukes before he asks questions. Yelena looked through the viewport, back down into the endless dark. The glow had faded completely, leaving only silence. Yet, even as she stared, she felt it, a faint thrum at the edge of perception, like the heartbeat of the ocean itself. We triggered something, she whispered. And it knows us. Carter turned off the engines and let the sub drift upward. The water outside grew lighter as they neared the surface, pressure giving way to freedom. For a moment, everything was calm again, almost peaceful. Then the sonar pinged once more. A final pulse, deep and slow. The pattern was unmistakable this time, 3 beats, pause, 2, pause, 3 again. Jern whispered, Tchats. Maur Scott. Yelena leaned closer. Translate it. He typed quickly, then looked up, disbelief on Witcher's face. And it says homed. No one spake. Above them, sunlight shimmered faintly through the waves. Below, the trench sealed itself again, erasing all sign of movement. The sea was once more an endless grave of secrets. Yelena activated for recorder, voice calm, steady. Expedition log 1A. Deep trench anomaly detected at 11,200 meters. Budget persmertelijk, passably biomechanical. Responsive behavior confirmed. Contact initiated. Message received. She paused. The words felt fragile. It recognized as 2 weeks after the discovery, the ocean above the trench looked deceptively calm. Beneath it, the deep station Argus flight like a steel cathedral anchored to the seabed. Lines from its modules shimmered against the dark water, tracing the outline of the massive alien hull resting below. Inside the control hub, Dr. Yelena Maura stared at the holographic display showing the ship's silhouette. "You've mapped only 30% of its surface," she said. "Every scan stops at the same layer, something as disrupting our instruments." Across the table, Admiral Vascain stood with HES fins clasped behind HES back, posture militare perfect. "You're seeing a piece of metal is outsmarting your technology." "It's not metal," she replied. "Its structure adapts. When our sonar hits it, the signal bends round. Like it's deciding what you're allowed to see. Конец of pressure didn't change. Then we push harder. I want to know what's inside before anyone else does." Yelena's jaw tightened. "You're scientists, Admiral, not miners. Forcing entry could damage." "Doctor," Kane interrupted sharply, "we don't even know if it's safe. This object speaks in human languages, reacts to stimuli, and manipulates electromagnetic fields. If it decides to move, you're all dead. Containment comes first." Yelena didn't argue further. She had learned to recognize when logic wouldn't penetrate paramount authority. But as she turned back to the screen, she caught for reflection in the glass, as she shuddered, her tied back, face down. The message still echoed in her head, "We remember you." Hours later, she led a small team down through the connecting tunnels to the primary access chamber, a transparent dome facing the alien hull. Through the glass, they saw its surface glowing faintly, like moonlight caught under ice. Jern Rao checked the readouts. Energy emissions are increasing again. It's stabilizing at a RHYTHM, like a pulse. Yelena's voice was low. "It's revived." "Alive?" he repeated. "It's a Martian. Martians don't grow across their hulls and rewrite radiation patterns too." She pressed for palm against the glass. The globe brightened for an instant, as if acknowledging her touch. Jern stared. "Did you see that?" Before she could answer, the lights flickered. A tone, soft, harmonic, filled the water outside. The sound vibrated through the walls, resonant yet gentle. Every screen went white, then reset. Kanye's voice erupted over the intercom. "Control to Maura, what did you just do?" "Nothing," she said. "IT initiated contact on its own too. Code the link. Full power isolation, now." "Wait." "Now, Doctor." The connection code. The humming stopped. But the glow on the hull didn't fade this time. Instead, thin lines of light began crawling across the ship's surface, converging on a circular opening near its base. Jern whispered, "It's opening." Yelena watched, transfixed. "IT wants us to come in." 3 hours later, against Kanye's direct orders, Yelena stood suited and sealed inside a submersible. Her voice shook only slightly as she spoke to the recording unit. «Евпедиtion log 2a. Unauthorized entry. Scientific justification. First contact opportunity». Charter's voice came over the com. "Your error Kane will sort martial you if you come back alive, right? If this thing can talk, I'm not going to let fear keep us deaf." The sub drifted toward the opening. As they approached, the walls shimmered with light, a thousand thin filaments twisting like living veins. The aperture widened to admit TRM, then sealed behind, plunging TRM into luminescent stillness. Inside, the ship felt more organic than mechanical. The corridors pulsed with faint light, and the air shimmered in liquid waves though they were still underwater. Jan's voice trembled. Tfires oxygen in here. Readings acclaimed. Remove helmets, Yelena ordered softly. Carter hesitated. Are you insane? I said remove termed. They did. The air smelled faintly of salt and metal, like rain after a storm. Every step deeper revealed something stranger. The walls carried faint carvings, spirals and branching lines that looked eerily like human DNA sequences. Jern aimed each scanner. Doctor, this pattern, it's a genetics map. It matches Homo sapiens. Perfectly. Yelena felt for pulse quicken. It's not coincidence. They entered a chamber shaped like a sphere. The floor was covered in a thin film of shimmering fluid. As Yelena stepped closer, light guttered beneath her boots, responding to movement. A voice filled the chamber, la, calm, and resonant. Descendants of water and ash. The seed ingest. The sound asn't spoken loud, it was inside their minds. Carter flinched backward, eyes wide. Did it just talk in my head? Yelena forced for breathing steady. We can hear you, she said loud. Who are you? Archivist. Guardian of the cycle. Your kind was born of our design. Jan's hands shook. Design. It's seeing era, created. Correct. You are the continuation. The living code. The walls rippled, revealing holographic images, vast oceans boiling under alien suns, storms shaping continents, fragments of DNA spiraling through a black water. The images merged into primitive Earths, turned into human faces, millions of them, flickering like memories. Carter stared in disbelief. This ship did live here. Yere it's experiment. Yelena whispered, not experiment. Licker said. The cycle failed before, the voice said. Civilizations burned their seas. You may end or transcend the pattern. The choice is near. The words faded, replaced by silence. Tenkane's voice blared harshly through the com. Maura. You've violated direct orders. Get back to base immediately. She ignored him. Archivist, she said, HFY contact us now. You called to the deep. You recurrent memory. The ocean answered. The ship began to hum again, deep and resonant. Kanyes tone rosy. Pull out. That vibration could trigger a collapse. Admiral, Yelena said, it's not a weapon. It's communication. Communication can come later. I want that thing neutralized. The hum intensified, rattling the walls. Their instruments sparked. The sub's warning lights for threat. Carter grabbed the controls. You're losing power. Fear blinds creation, the voice murmured. The ship's walls expanded outward, pushing a surge of light through the corridor. Systems overloaded. Yelena screamed into the com. Shoot down the power grid. It's defending itself. Arger's bees flickered on 4 secondary monitor, sparks, alarms, personal scattering. Kanye's voice caught in through a static. You've unleashed a goddamn reactor pulse. Do you understand what you've done? Then everything went dark. When the systems rebooted, silence returned. The glow dimmed to a steady blue heartbeat along the walls. Yelena's ears rang. Carter slumped over the controls, panting. Jern whispered, "You're alive." The ocean trembled as if a pulse was rippling through the very crust of the earth. In the depths below Arger's station, the alien vessel's lights fought like a heartbeat returning to life. The sea no longer felt still, it felt roar. Dr. Yelena Moroz's voice broke the silence. Status. Charters trembling fingers danced over the console. Whole integrity stable. But the readings, tfeire impossible. The ships generating an energy-filled thoughts. Expanding, germ caught in. It's spreading through the outer calm. O port. Yelena's stomach turned cold. It's reaching the surface. Through the subs-powered, the alien vessel glowed brighter, lines of light snaking across its hull like veins igniting from within. The seabed cricket opened beneath it, releasing plumes of silt that rosy like smoke. Admiral Vascanes' voice blasted through the comms, rugged with fury. Maura, I'm authorizing immediate detonation of the containment charges. Beyond this now. Yelena shouted back, you destroy the entire trench. That thing isn't attacking, it's trying to communicate. It's destabilizing the ocean floor. You've done enough damage already. Kane barked. You have 3 minutes to clear the blast zone. The line caught. Carter swore under each breath. Is serious. Those charges will vaporize us. Yelena stared at the pulsating ship. No. It's not the ship causing the instability. It's reacting to him. To our fear. Jan's eyes flicked between them. Then what do we do? Yelena turned toward the glowing hole. We listen. She activated the sub's broadcast ray. Archivist, she said softly. If you can hear me, we need to understand. The Admiral's going to destroy you. The air shimmered. A lahom filled the cabin. Destruction is the language of fear. You carry it well. Yelena studied for breath. Yere not all are afraid. Some of us want to learn. Knowledge and fear share the same root. You have seen it, the cycle repeats. You burn what you do not control. She felt for pulse quicken. Ten teaches how to break the cycle. There was a pause, vast and heavy. Ten. One seat most rememberer. One most returned. Before Yelena could respond, the sub's panels flickered. A strange pattern of light spiraled across the floor, a geometric shape that resembled a DNA strand folding into itself. Germ gasped. It's sending data. Encoding something. Record everything, Yelena ordered. Charter's eyes widened as the light grew blinding. Doctor, something was happening outside. They looked out the viewport. The alien ship's hull was opening like a blooming flower, panels separating with fluid grace. From its core rose a sphere of light, rotating slowly, each turn shedding ripples through the water that made it shimmer like liquid glass. Jern whispered, it's butterfly. Yelena's voice trembled. It's the archive. The core of its memory. The home deepened, and suddenly, all their instruments went black. Above them, aboard Arger's station, alarms screamed. Kane stood rigid before the central display as seismic readings peaked. All personnel, brace for detonation countdown, he barked. An officer hesitated. Sir, there are still people down there. That's an order. Kane roared. He slammed Uiche's fist on the console. We can't let that thing reach the surface. I won't let another Pandora's box open under my command. The countdown began. -90 seconds. Inside the sub, the lights flared back on, but the data stream had changed. Now it wasn't numbers. It was images. They flashed in Yelena's mind like memories she had never lived. Alien worlds covered in oceans, beings of light-seeding worlds with microscopic life, ten watching civilizations rise and fall in endless succession. She saw wars, extinctions, resurrections. The same story, over and over. And then she saw Earth. humanities buried. The ship plunging into the young planet's sea. Waiting. For voice broke. It's been here since the beginning. Charter's voice cricket. Doctor, the Admiral's going to blow the charges. We have less than a minute. Yelena opened the comms again. Admiral Kane, listen to me. The ship's not hostile. X. A threat. Kane interrupted. You're ending this before IT spreads. Spread what? Knowledge? She shouted. It's showing us where we came from. But he didn't answer. The timer reached -30 seconds. Jern looked at Ford desperately. We have to go. Yelena stared at the glowing sphere outside, the heart of the alien ship pulsing with uncertainty. If we leave, everything IT holds will be lost. You cannot save both worlds, the archivist said softly in her mind. One must reawaken. One must remember her. Yelena clenched her fists. 10 I remember her. She turned to her team. Get to the surface. That's an order. Carter shook HLS head violently. Not without you. She met HLS ace. Come, steady. Humanity has forgotten what IT was. Maybe this is how we remained IT. Before they could protest, she hit the emergency hatch. Water surged in as she swam toward the radiant sphere, 4 sweet lights slicing through the dark. Behind 4, the sub sealed and rocketed upward. Kane watched from Arger's station as a column of light erupted from the trench. The sensors went blind. Detonate, he shouted. The ocean exploded with brilliance. For a moment, everything vanished in white. 10 silence. But when the light cleared, the trench was still there. The alien ship was gone. Only a singular thread of light remained, ascending slowly toward the surface. Kane's voice faltered. What is that? No one answered. Miles below, Yelena flied within the Spirit's radiance. Round her, fragments of light-shaped images, human faces, stars, oceans. Your word is young, the voice said gently. You were made to continue us, not destroy us. She whispered, HFY tell me this. Because you listened. The light round 4 folded inward, enveloping 4. For a moment, she saw every memory ever lived, the birth of language, fire, civilization, all threaded by the same current, curiosity. Then everything dissolved. 2 days later, rescue teams found the Argus wreckage. Most of the crew had survived, though the station itself was crippled. Admiral Kane was among the injured, silent and hollowed. The alien ship was gone, not destroyed, just vanished. But miles away, near the surface, a buoy transmitted a repeating signal that no one could trace. Yelena's voice. Expedition log, final. The archivist lives within us. Its archive is human memory. We were never alone. We were continuation to. The cycle can end if we choose understanding over fear. 10 static. The message repeated endlessly, carried by currents across the world. Weeks later, global agencies released a statement, deep sea seismic anomaly under investigation. No evidence of extraterrestrial craft found.